Right, now we're recording. All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? I have the wonderful Tanya here. She is my favorite person in the UK and the world.
Hi,
um,
hello.
yeah, you can usually see our conversations with some kind of Ron Swanson gif arguing about
Yep.
UK versus America, and America always wins, just
No,
like we
it
did
doesn't.
hundreds of years ago.
No, no, no,
So,
no, no, that's not true.
look, not right now. We have to talk about social media marketing. Um, yeah, so we're going to be talking about social media marketing, and this is a really common thing that comes up in the group where um, we have students that are doing outreach and they're trying to get clients, and then they'll have someone that's either a current client or somebody they want to work with that's like, well, can you do my social media marketing too? And then they come to the group and they're like, what should I do? They said they want me to do social media marketing, and yeah, this is where this comes in, because I think the difference, even though they seem like they're very similar, Facebook advertising and social media marketing, usually there are like wildly different implications of what that actually looks like and what the business owner actually wants with their services. So that's why we're here. Tanya is an expert, a specialist, I should say, in all things Facebook ads and also social media. So why don't you go ahead and tell us the difference?
It's, so the difference, the simple way for me to explain the difference between social media marketing as a service and Facebook ads. Social media marketing is vast and it's complex, and it contains many different forms of strategy and skill sets that people aren't necessarily going to have. You have to be kind of an all-rounder to really get social media marketing. It's not as simple as just posting a couple of pictures or a couple of videos onto somebody's Facebook page. There is a lot of market research that would need to go in understanding what would be effective. Facebook ads focus generally on one specific product or service belonging to that company that you are promoting. So Facebook ads are advertising, social media is marketing, and advertising is a small part of marketing, but generally has the biggest budget. Companies will spend a lot of money on advertising, on paid advertising, but they generally don't have a massive budget for marketing, which sounds almost backwards, because
Right.
the two should have an equal split of budget, but people always want to throw money into pushing their best offers, their best services. So the way that I would structure a client coming to me, if I talk you through kind of how I deal with an onboarding process, the steps that I take to do social media marketing effectively for a company when they approach me. And it happens all the time. I don't have any clients that I just do Facebook ads for. The UK have a different mindset when it comes to Facebook advertising as well. We're very cynical and we're very suspicious of anything that looks remotely like an offer or a freebie. We want to know what the catch is. So having to learn the differences between the way you guys advertise and the way the UK advertise. It's been a massive learning curve for me over the last year, and I've learned so much that has really helped me progress in what I do. But when a client approaches me for social media marketing, it takes me, on average, a week to onboard my client. I have to spend a good 1 to 2 hours face-to-face with a client or on a Zoom or Skype call to understand what they do in their business, what their offline marketing strategy is. You need to be able to understand what marketing strategies look like from a broader perspective. So we have to know what the goal is, what the objective is. We know objectives from setting up Facebook ads. So we know that there would be brand awareness, it would be consideration or conversion, what stage they want to hit. So we have to figure out what their overall marketing strategy is for the period that they want me to work with them for. I then have to look at their offline marketing, what they're already doing in person with their sales teams to push that forward. Then I look at what they're doing online, what has worked best for them so far, what hasn't worked. I have to dig into their insights. I have to dig into their analytics, and also sales conversions in their software. Or more often than not, small businesses have no idea what any of this means.
Right.
So that's something else that you need to become almost an expert in, teaching your clients how to measure their marketing and advertising efforts. One of the first things that I will ask somebody when they approach me is, what is your sales process? If I give you 25 leads, we cover this in the Facebook ads. If I gave you 25 leads, or if I brought 25 new customers into your store today, how would you handle those? What would be the first thing that you do? If they can't answer that, then we have to start from very small, and I have to almost coach them through how to run a business, because more often than not, a company will come to you asking for social media because they don't know how to market at all.
Yeah.
They're expecting miracles, and they expect you to provide the magic solution for them. So managing client expectations is probably the hardest job from an organic social media perspective. And that's probably the overriding biggest difference. Paid advertising is easily measured. You have analytics and data fed to you on a minute by minute basis that you can provide to the client to say, your money comes in here, we have split it here, we're testing this objective, we're testing this strategy, these are the results. With organic social media, I kind of go, well, you're paying me this amount of money for my skill set, my expertise. We're measuring these statistics based on your objective. So if they want brand awareness, we can measure that via page likes, via engagement rates, via engagement on posts. That's fairly easy to read. But if you're trying to measure something like conversion or consideration, you just want them to find out that, okay, so they know where I am online, they've liked my page, how do I get them to buy my stuff without selling via an ad? That's where it becomes tricky, because you have to understand how to create brand stories to get people interested in not the products or the services, but the people that are behind the company. I generally don't ever put call to actions that we would use in ads. None of that ever goes into a Facebook post or an Instagram post or a Facebook story or a Facebook Live. It's all very kind of storytelling and connection, human connection. I'm reading this book at the moment by Bernadette Jiwa. She's an Irish lady living in Australia, and she is mentored by Seth Godin, and she focuses on marketing with a difference, how we can concentrate on the smallest element of an audience and basically make them ambassadors. So we market to just 1 or 2 people, and then that expands to maybe 3 or 4 people, and knowing how to find that specific target client, that dream client, that person that is going to be your biggest ambassador, what their pain points are, what they love, what they hate, what their personal values are, what kind of communication do they latch onto, what are they already investing their money in. Understanding that is part of social media marketing. So when people say, can you do my social media? I'm like, of course we can. Then I go through all of this and they're like, wow. I'm like, if you want somebody to just post a few bits on your Facebook, your 12-year-old daughter can probably do that for you. If you want it to work, we invest in social media marketing and strategy. The two are very, very different. Social media management is generally something that it's easier for you guys in America because you have invested in this idea. You really took a hold of social media marketing a good 10, 12 years ago. In the UK, it's only really been a proper thing for about 5 years. People have only really started investing heavily in it. So you will probably find companies, small to medium-sized businesses that will go, do you know what, I'm happy to pay you $1,000 a month. We'll send you some pictures. You can put them up for me, and it might work, it might not. But if you want to do this as a service and become an expert in it, you need to understand base marketing strategy. And that it's something that you can learn and you can teach, but understanding how to become a brand voice, how to become that business online to really make that connection is something that, yeah, that's what I excel at. That's kind of like my uniqueness. I am very good at it. Used to annoy the hell out of my dad when we used to go on holiday. I would be able to mimic people's accents, their mannerisms, everything about somebody very, very quickly. And when I spend time with clients, I extract certain information in my questionnaires. I really try to figure out what makes these people tick, and then I can mimic them online. I get their intonations, their language and communication styles very, very quickly. Case in point, I had an Australian client who opened up a coffee shop here a couple of years ago. Really dynamic young Oz guy, and I spent a good 3 or 4 days with him before the coffee shop opened, and nobody ever knew that the social media wasn't him. I became a 26-year-old Australian guy with boundless enthusiasm and a real knowledge of coffee. I had no idea about coffee at that point, but that was something else, because you have to spend so much time with these businesses to understand how they work. The effort and the energy that goes into this, it's not something that you could do as a side hustle.
Yeah.
It has to be something that you throw yourself into. And that's why your price point has to reflect that element. You can't just charge $200-300 to update somebody's Facebook page, because they could find someone on Upwork to do that for $5 quite easily. So I price myself quite high, because what I do is very effective. I don't have any clients that I do social media management for, that pay me less than $700 a month. Which is probably about £700 that is. So that's like $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. So
because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah. And that's what I think people in our course, that they don't know that, because they think like, oh yeah, social media marketing, like I'll throw some stuff up there for them and I'll run their Facebook ads, but it's like they're sort of related, but they're wildly different, I feel like. And business owners don't know the difference. And so they in their mind, they lump it all together. They go, okay, yeah, Facebook ads. And while they're doing that, they post this other stuff. And that, to me, what usually happens is that if you are trying to do both for a business owner, they're going to get frustrated. The business owner is going to get frustrated, because they're not really going to understand what the ROI is of the social media marketing part. They're not sure. So there's a lot of costs going out and a lot of things, and they're going to be like, what am I getting?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that I struggle with quite a lot with clients, even at my stage. They'll say, right, well, if we're making this amount of money from, for example, one of my clients is a comedy club. He has 2 comedy clubs, and we promote events using Facebook ads. I've got ticket sales down to like 12p per ticket. I've been doing it for 2 years for him. We don't spend any more than 50 quid on selling 250 tickets now, which is amazing. But that's only happened because organically I've grown his audience and nurtured his audience between events, between monthly events. I've tagged people in photographs, I've tagged venues, I've gone to the events myself and engaged with people at the time to make the social media organically strong to support the ticket sales. And it would probably sell out now without the Facebook ads, but we always try to get new audiences involved to grow the clubs, to expand the business. But trying to explain to my client who doesn't give a crap about how it works. He just knows it does. And he's like, right, well, can we spend less time maybe on this and put on another venue and just do ads? And I'm like, it wouldn't work like that, because this element has to have that impact for that element to work. And he's like, oh, but okay, well, can we just get Finn, his son, 17, to do that bit that you do, and I move you over to email marketing? And I'm like, well, we can, but then I'm going to have to teach him how to do me, and that's just going to, and he's like, okay, we'll just stick where we are.
Right.
But so long as the customers and the clients know that what you do works, they're generally okay.
I think you have to with a social media marketing client, I think that you have to have a business owner, if it's going to be a positive experience, that has a long-term vision, or has the ability to have long-term vision, and also isn't just looking for immediate ROI. Because like for myself, like with Millennial Money Man, I do social media stuff for myself all the time. I can't tell you what the ROI is of writing a post in my Facebook group, but I know that it builds the brand, it builds the story, and it builds the foundation for the products that I sell. And a lot, if you're talking to a gym owner that just wants more people in the door, like right now, but they want social media marketing because that's what they think they're supposed to do, they're going to be frustrated because they probably don't have that vision. So I think that's interesting. You know, what you mentioned about just like having the right kind of business owner. I think that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's taken me probably 5 years to figure out who my ideal clients are, what they look like, what they sound like when we have an initial meeting. So I have what I call discovery calls, basically where I pre-qualify someone. And if they use language that focuses on money metrics too often, I know that they're just going to be disappointed, and it won't be a good partnership. So I'll say, okay, well, this is great, but your budget is going to have to be, and I'll put pain in the ass tax of like 2,000% on top of it. And then they generally just go, no way, I can't afford that. So it's a good way it's really beneficial to look at what they already do in comparison to what they're expecting. So if they already have a decent Facebook page with decent amount of engagement, and their expectation is to just carry that on for a little while, fine, that's not a problem. If they've got 4 Facebook likes and they're wanting a 30% return on investment, you're going to struggle, and it's just no. And if also their budget is $400, no.
Yeah. And I think too, like when I think about social media marketing and I think about just the kind of business owner, or what happens for a business owner when they really do a lot of social media marketing, a lot of it, this is going to sound a little weird, but it's kind of like almost ego driven, where it's like, when I have a lot of social media things happening for Millennial Money Man, it's because I want the brand to be presented a certain way. And I want the brand to tell my story in a certain way. I want to be proud of the brand when I look at it. And I think that's probably what you do, is you make something happen for the business owner where they're proud of their presence online and they're proud of the story and the way it's being presented. That's a totally different world than just like, getting leads. Because
I become a representative of the company, of the business. The public persona of the business is in my hands. I love all of my management clients. I've nurtured them for years. I haven't had a new one for a while, but they now trust me enough to, one of my estate agent clients, real estate, they send me links to new properties as soon as they come in. They'll send me images of new properties as soon as they take them. They'll give me a very basic level of what it is. They tell me how many bedrooms it's got, how big the garden is, and how much money it's costing. And then I create magic from these posts. I ask them to send me pictures of what they do during the day as people, with their families, in the business, what makes them tick, because real estate is a very, very personal service. And the people that are selling your house or the people that you're buying a house from, you need to trust them. They need to know that they understand the area that they're serving. And they understand the people that live there. So what I do with my estate agent clients is I create a massive family community. These guys, they're all men, and they are family men who are focused on their kids, community, driving business, not just for themselves, but for the local economy as well. So I create almost like personalities for each of them, so that they connect with different types of ideal client in the area. So maybe one with teenage children, one with toddlers, one who's very business focused, and using the personality elements that I've discovered by working with them for so long. It just helps sell these houses. I've sold 2 houses in 6 months just on Facebook. They've not even gone on the website yet. Just from presenting a house in a way that is appealing to the people that I know want to live there, because I know the area as well myself. I know what draws people here, why people want to live here, and I also know what people want in a home. So putting that element into a social media post and making the guys that are selling it trustworthy takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort. Estate agents aren't known for the trustworthiness straight away, so it's taken a while to build that up. But this is the level of involvement with social media, organic social media, that you need to have with clients for it to work. For you to get results, you have to build a relationship with your client, a very close, trusting relationship, because you become the online brand representative. It's pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a couple questions, but before I get into those, I want to ask about scaling, because I think, like, my thought process when when a student comes and they're like, okay, I've got this lead and they want social media marketing and they want Facebook ads. My thought is, like, if you aren't trying to scale vertically, and if you just want to keep this as a side hustle and you just want to do, like, I think go for it. Cause I did that in the beginning. Cause I was like, was broke and I wanted to make money. So I was like, I'll do that and I'll do this. I'll do all the things. But if you're trying to scale, I think you need to pick one or the other. But I'm curious for you, generally, I mean, some people can obviously do both, but I think for you, what is scaling the social media marketing side of the business? What has that been like? How difficult is it? What's the difference between that and just straight lead gen?
So it's very difficult, very, very difficult, without compromising quality and level of service. It's virtually impossible I can't replicate myself. The reason that what I do works is because of how I do it and who I am and the relationships I build with my clients. It cannot be replicated. It cannot be automated. So the way that I've scaled it is by learning Facebook ads. So I have another dimension to what I offer, but also I consult with clients now. So I only have 4 management clients. I cannot handle any more than that because of the amount of hours that it takes. But I charge them a lot of money to do that, because of the effort and the reward needs to be. But they're also invested long term, like you said. These are not clients that are expecting quick results. They trust me to represent their brand, and I end up doing a lot more than just their social media. I become almost another extension or another employee, without not always being paid for it. But again, that's just who I am. I always like to offer extra value in some way. I've helped clients build in-house operating systems. I've helped them shave money off their bottom line by getting rid of CRMs that they don't use effectively. I've helped people sack people that aren't pulling their weight. So really, it's impossible to scale that way. So I've gone into consultancy, and training and workshops. So what I now do is I'll go into I do these online as well with fitness and health coaches. I will do almost like 2 to 4 hour consults, not all at the same time, It can be
Yeah.
split over an hour or so. But I help them figure out a 30-day or a 60-day strategy if they've got a particular project that they want to focus on, or they just need hand-holding for a little bit because they've lost their way. A lot of brands and companies come to me because they know that their social media is working, but they don't know how. And they want to understand and replicate, so rinse and repeat. How, right, we've got this far and this seems to be working really well. How did we do that? How can we repeat it? And how can we expand on that? So I go in and I pull it apart. I give them audits. I give them another strategy, implementation tools, and then I leave them and they get on with it. And then we reconvene in 30 or 60 days, look at what happened, rinse and repeat. Yeah. It's 2 to 4 hours with just this one client for a 30, 60-day period. They pay me really well for what I do. I also do training. So I'll do day with a client. So I've got one next week. I'm training a company of 6 and they're paying me £3,000 for a day's training. I go in and I basically just figure out where they all are, what they want to be able to do, what they need to understand in relation to their business, and I go through it with them. I didn't realise I was good at teaching social media until I started actually doing it. Everybody just needs a basic understanding of it and kind of methods that work for them. There's so much information online about how to do social media that it's impossible to find the right path for you, cutting through all of the noise. And that's what I essentially help them do when I go in. This is what you need to learn. This is your pathway. Don't veer off of it. These are the tools that you need, and these are the methods to use them. And then I leave them again. And workshops is something that I started last week. I did my first Instagram workshop. It was a 90-minute workshop. I charged £70 per person, and I had 15 people. So, and I didn't spend a penny advertising. It was literally just, I think I did 4 Facebook posts and sold the tickets just to test like what the local appetite for it would be. But that worked really well, and I got some great feedback. So I've done one. I documented everything that I did. I made workbooks for everybody, got feedback. I've tweaked it slightly. I can do probably another 6 of those before Instagram changes how it works. And then obviously I'll just keep doing that. But if I devise maybe 7 or 8 different types of workshops, I can do 2 or 3 a month and make a decent income.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. And I think that's to me, that's like a really smart way to scale that side of the business, because it's easier for you. And you seem like you like teaching people, so I think that's, it fits closely with what you probably are passionate about. So I think that's really cool. I'm going to get to a couple of questions here because there's some really good ones. Rebecca said, if a business owner doesn't have a brand, do you work together to create one? And if so, how do you do that?
Yes, I do. I use a brand summary template. I have one here. So I'll talk you through. Yeah, I've got all of these are my onboarding documents and my training documents always to hand, because as soon as something comes into my brain that I think might need tweaking, I go straight to it and do it straight away, because otherwise it gets forgotten about.
See, that's smart, because things come to my brain and I just forget them.
Yeah, I've started to do voice notes as well now. So I keep like my iPhone next to my bed, and if I wake up at like 3 o'clock and I've had a brain fart, I'll literally just record whatever I thought into it and then go back to it in the morning and make sense of it. But yeah, so a brand, if the business doesn't understand what the brand is, who they are, what's important to them, who they serve, and why, you cannot market them. So what I do, I've got my brand summary here. I ask them to fill out, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 headers for this. And it's vision is the first element. So what is the vision of your company? What is your vision as an individual? Why did you do what you do? And a little bit about them. So we are fitness professionals, and we serve overweight 20 to 30 year old men who have come out of the military, for example. their purpose. So what is the purpose of the product or service that they're offering? What solutions does it give? What we say, what's our tagline and motto? So a lot of companies need to have sort of like a short tagline, what they stand for, so that when it comes to understanding what they do succinctly, it's there. They can say, we are this and we do this. Dream goals for the business. So their ultimate goals. Why are you doing what you do? What do you want to be in 20 years time? What is your dream goal for the brand? And then brand values and behavior. So things like what do you value as a brand or as an individual? What makes sense to you? So things like respectfulness, responsibility, knowledgeable, continuity of care. We take everything in our stride. These kinds of values and behavior help frame how they want to be seen online. And then we've got personality. So things like we want to be seen as warm, interactive, approachable, friendly, but authoritative, that kind of thing. And it can take a good two hours just to go through that with them. I generally, in a meeting, a first strategy meeting, will give them some guidelines and go, fill this out. When you've done that, come back to me, because I can't do anything until they've done that. But that's how I help them build their brand. Brand isn't colours. Brand isn't logo. Brand isn't what something looks like or feels like. Brand is essentially the essence of the person behind it. Why are they the way they are? Why do they want to help people? Why do they produce this product? What does it serve? What purpose is it? That's what brand is. It's connection between you and the people that buy.
Yeah, that's so good.
I've been doing this for so long now. It's something that I'm massively passionate about, and there's just so much information out there that I absorb everything and try and get as much as I can into everything that I do. And I do get very carried away sometimes. So if I talk too much, just tell me to shut up.
No, it's all great. I mean, it's one of those things where I think it's just when people, hopefully they watch this and they're like, holy crap, there's a lot to social media marketing. That's not to say you shouldn't do it or whatever. Like I've done both and you obviously do both. But there's just way more to it than I think people, and that's what our fear for people is. Like, we don't want them to jump into it and go, oh my God, I can't believe I jumped into this without knowing what the heck I was doing. And now I've got this client, they want all this work and all of that. So I think this is great. So we've got another question from Amanda. She said, do you charge separately for making videos for people's social media, or is that included in your fee?
I charge for everything that takes time.
I love that.
That includes things like me going to the premises to take photographs that they probably won't have. You'll find that if you do social media for a brand or a company or an individual, you'll say, right, what assets do you have? What images do you have? What videos do you have? What blog articles have you written? And they'll say, oh, none. So then you have to either create them for them or help them find and research this stuff. That all takes a massive amount of time. Chasing clients for information probably is 20% of my time.
Yeah.
And it can become very stressful and very frustrating. My clients now understand, the ones that I work with, I will only ask for something twice. If I don't get it, it doesn't get done, and they cannot blame me. I don't have time to parent grown adults. If I've asked them for something, they should just give it to me.
You're right. It's true.
Or pay me to do it for them. That's how it works. And so I charge for everything that takes my time. I never used to, and I ran myself ragged, and I had a great time, but I was poor.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things. I think everybody goes through that as they get into this kind of this world of marketing. I remember my first client, I would do anything for them, and I would I felt like I was working like 2 full-time jobs trying to do all the stuff that they wanted me to do. But I needed the money. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do this. And then, it's as you get more experience in business, you slowly just go like, okay, I'm not doing that, or you're going to pay me more. And I to do it, even if you want to pay me more, because that's just not worth my time. So that's
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
experience. Amanda also asked, how many social media clients can you personally handle at once, and if you have a team?
I handle 4 management clients. So at the moment, I've got 4 management clients, full-time management clients. I have 6 consultancy clients, and I have 2 mentoring clients. And no, I don't have a team. Everything is done by me. I have
That's awesome.
operating systems that I've developed over the last 7 or 8 years. And I pick and choose who I work with. And I still have a lot of free time. It still surprises me that I could work a lot more. I could work probably 4 or 5 more hours every day, but I'd be exhausted and I wouldn't produce my best work. So I work probably 5 hours a day, and the rest of the time is spent developing my business, developing myself, and enjoying my family.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like one of the cool things about what you do is that I think as you continue to show your expertise and show other people what you've done, I mean, I feel like in social media marketing a little bit, it's kind of unique where you can just continue to charge more for your time and for your effort. And that's a way that you can scale that. Whereas like Facebook ad management, there's a pretty hard cap, depending on how much work you're doing. But that kind of like 1,000 to 2,000 is pretty standard in the industry. But I feel like social media marketing, you can just continue to scale and grow as through the rates, through the rates that you're charging.
Yeah, absolutely. People will pay what they think you are worth.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. Let's see. I know there's more. Oh yeah, there's more questions. Also, Amanda, you have awesome questions. She said, I've heard that you're an expert in restaurant clients. That's what I want to specialize in because I know a lot of restaurant owners. I feel bad charging $1,000. Can restaurants afford that? And let's just start there because she's got a follow-up question on that. But what do you think?
I love restaurant clients because I love to eat. So I do my best work with clients and businesses that I know a good deal about. So fitness clients, food and coffee and clothes, all of my favorite things. So restaurant clients, yes, can afford £1,000 a month. Traditionally, they would spend probably 3 times that on print material, print marketing, local print advertising, magazines, newspapers, billboards, radio adverts. So $1,000 a month is nothing to a restaurant. If you consider from that, you could potentially bring in 5, 6, 7 new faces every month. Over the course of a year, 2 years, how much money would they spend in that restaurant? How many people would they tell that would also, you can't track residual reference like referrals. So you get 2 people in from an ad who have a great time. They come back, they have a meal, they bring their family, they bring their friends. That is worth a lot of money to a restaurateur that knows what he's doing. You'll have restaurant clients that go, I can't afford that. You've only brought me in 2 new customers this month. Well, they're obviously not seeing how a business works. And that's something that you're just going to have to learn through experience, how to deal with bad business owners. There's a lot out there. Marketing only does so much. Marketing is not sales. There is a massive difference between, so marketing and advertising is not sales. You are guiding, you are basically a sat nav for a herd of people. You're taking them to a specific point. And if at that point nothing happens, that isn't your fault. That's down to the business owner and the sales team or the website. More often than not, you will get a client and you can guide hundreds and hundreds of people to a particular website point. None of them will convert because the website is crap. And if you don't understand what a crap website looks like, you will lose clients. So this is another element of advertising and marketing, is understanding destinations. Where are you taking people to? Are you taking them to something that doesn't perform? Then you're not just wasting your time, but you're wasting your client's money, and your reputation will suffer. So really kind of always looking to the end point. Where are you taking people? What's the destination? What is the objective? Figure that out and then reverse engineer it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like it's a great point on like the lifetime value part of that, because I got a free queso from a Mexican food place probably like 10 years ago. And I've been going to that restaurant like multiple times a year for the last 10 years, like that. So yeah, you gotta have a business owner with vision. And the other point that you talked about with the print, and this is something too that we get that question a lot. Can businesses actually afford my services and all that? The first time that I had a client that paid $10,000 for a 1-page magazine ad in an airline that they weren't even based in Houston. They just paid for, it was like somewhere else. And I had to put together this $10,000 freaking advertisement for them. I was like, okay, yeah, like the businesses waste a lot of money on things that don't matter. So that's why this does work so well, and you can definitely charge $1,000 for this. So for offers?
Yeah, there are plenty of businesses that will pay that out there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Restaurant offers.
Yeah.
So restaurant offers, you can do kids eat free with a paying adult. That always works really well. If your restaurant client has a particular period that is slow, generally lunchtimes, like weekday lunchtimes, are a slow time for restaurants, and they want to increase the times that people are in the restaurant then. They never really want to increase their Friday and Saturday night covers. They're normally okay. They want to bring people into the restaurant when it's quiet. So if you can produce offers that are appealing for those times of day, so if you've got a restaurant that opens at midday and it's in a district that has a lot of industry or offices around, you could help them offer network lunches or 2 courses for £10. Offers normally work really well. Look at where the restaurant is situated. Look at the kind of people that you can bring in that they don't already have to fill those spaces. It's kind of this is like obviously another marketing skill, being able to see outside and think outside of the box. 12 o'clock lunchtime. Who is going to be able to get to this destination for an hour lunch? So think about what offices are around. Is it an industrial estate? Is it a retail place? Are there a lot of mums with young kids around? Could you offer like a mums and babies lunch? Other offers that work really well is a free dessert with a starter and a main. So you're a starter and a main, they get a free dessert or free coffee, or they get a glass of house wine free. Only house wine, not any other wine. Always give them something free. Don't do percentage offers. They never work because people can't equate percentages with food. 50% of a burger is half a burger. Right. It doesn't make sense. But if you say burger and fries and you get a 6 shake free, much better, easier to promote, and people can visualize what that looks like, and it's more attractive that way. But generally giving something away. And so restaurants make most of their money from alcohol, not food. So if you can, the freebies generally are focused around the food. Ask them what is the cheapest item that they can give away for free. They should know what that is, and then just create offers around that. Start small and then build from it, and just see. It's trial and error. Test and find out.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because Mike, he talks about this chocolate piñata thing at some Mexican food restaurant by him. It was a freebie. You buy an entree and you get this giant piñata chocolate thing, and you break it open. And he goes back to that restaurant like once a month because he got that one.
It sounds like fun.
It looks really cool. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on with it, but it's just a great offer. We have about 6 minutes left. So if anybody else has questions, and Amanda, you've asked some really good questions. So hopefully we've gotten to most of those. I'm trying to look back through. Was there anything else you wanted to cover on social media marketing?
I'm just looking at some notes I made the other day. I think I've probably gone over everything and then some. But yeah, so essentially, no, I think I've covered everything. Market analysis, research, strategizing, identity, personas, companies, inform. Yeah. This is the other thing as well. The book that I always refer people to, Jonah Berger's Contagious. It essentially sets out why organic social media works and how you can implement that in day-to-day social media. It's a great starting point for people to understand what social media marketing does. If you read the book and it excites you and it lights you up, then social media management could be a career choice for you. If you read it and go, shit, that's a lot of work, don't do it.
I love that. Let's see. Amanda asked, do you guide people to restaurant websites? I'm not sure if you mean from like straight lead gen or from social media marketing.
Generally, I don't put website links in organic social media because the page is there as a reminder. If people want to book, they'll go to the website anyway. Or there's normally a book now button on the Facebook. With ads, I don't direct them to websites. I direct them to Messenger to book, or I direct them directly to the booking app if they have one.
Nice. Let's see. What does a restaurant conversion look like? It's kind of a big question.
Yeah.
Might need a little bit more info on that.
Question 6 and 7, Amanda. What I'll do is I'll send my brand summary template and I'll put it into the Laptop Empires group for you all to look at. It's something that you should all use for yourselves anyway, to give you a guide of how you should brand yourselves. But I'll upload the file into Laptop Empires later and you can see how I structure that.
I love it. Well, that's it for now. It's late for Tanya, so I want her to be able to
Hey, I got
Whoa.
one quick question if you got a minute. Hey, sorry. I'm driving, so I can't type, but I do have one quick question. So how can we pair social media management with paid advertising services if we wanted to offer like both services to a client? How would we kind of pair that or offer one or the other as an upsell to a current client if we wanted to go that route?
Okay, so what I generally do is, depending on their budget for ads, a lot of clients don't have a long-term budget, so they'll only want to do ads for, say, a month. I price myself, so I'm £1,000, $1,000, so £700 is my lowest amount for just social media management. If they want ads as an add-on, it's £500 a month on top. So you would be looking at, what, $1,800 for a month for both combined. But if you consider that you would be doing the management as well, you're looking at around 12 hours a week on that client, which is a lot of time. It's a lot of time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, it is a lot of time, but I feel like you said it perfectly. If it's something that excites you and you want to help a brand in that way, it can be really fulfilling.
Absolutely. I love it. To me, it's not a job. It's just, I get paid for faffing around on social media every day, talking to people that I would never normally talk to. I happen to know how to market and strategize with my eyes shut, which is a bonus, but it is a really great way to earn money and to work. I love it. It is a great job to have. And if it excites you and it lights you up, I'm more than happy to help people with finding resources for extra learning skills. I could offer mentoring, but time difference means that could be a problem.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you so much. I mean, we're right up on 3:00 my time, so I want you to be able to go to bed. What time is it?
I've been up since 4 a.m. actually, because I was at a network meeting at 5 a.m. and it's now 9 p.m. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I love doing trainings with you. We've done, if everybody wants to check out, I think we've done at least one other live training with you before,
Yep.
on organic. It was on organic. It wasn't necessarily just social media marketing, but it was how to use organic traffic to get
Yep.
conversions. And then we did an expert roundtable with you.
Yep.
So if everybody should go check those out. And then Tanya is always in the group and she's amazing. That's why we have her here. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. I will see you later. I'll see everybody else later and hope everybody has a great day.
See you later, guys.